Hi there, I'm Nikki and welcome to the Kitchen Legacy. All right guys, so we are cooking up one of my favorite recipes, and actually this is one of my kids' all-time favorite recipes that I do for them. And in the process of preparing for this video, my daughter says, can we eat that for dinner tonight? So your kids will love it too, or if you're just making it for you, I don't know, potluck. It's gonna be great. We are making meatloaf with a balsamic glaze. So I don't know about you, I grew up on meatloaf. I loved it, loved the taste. I remember it had a lot of ketchup in it. Maybe it didn't always look real pretty, but we liked it in my household. So this is a fun take on it, and this is now the recipe that I use when I make my meatloaf. Let's get to it. Let's get cooking. What you'll need is 2 pounds of a lean ground beef. You'll need 2 cups of seasoned breadcrumbs. You'll need 1 cup of milk. You will also need some ketchup and balsamic, like just a vinegar balsamic, regular, no extra added flavors, just a regular balsamic. For our spices, you will need onion powder, you'll need salt and pepper, and then you will need 2 eggs. So the full list of the recipe, if that was like super scattered for you guys, I apologize. The full list of the recipe will be in the video comments and links and everything. So it'll all be there for you. But you'll also need some brown sugar. Now the brown sugar we're gonna use later for the glaze, and I'll be making that on today's demo for you as well. So like I said, let's get going. Let's dig into this. It doesn't take very long to make it all, which I can appreciate, okay? I got my my meat right here, so I'm gonna add in my breadcrumbs. Now to mix, you can use a spatula. I like to get my hands dirty. So I'm using my hands. It's just the best way sometimes to get in there and mix up the meat. So we're gonna do your breadcrumbs, your meat, and then we're gonna add our milk. Remember, just 1 cup of milk. There, just set this aside. And we're gonna mix this all together. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is fun. You guys should see it when I do my kids' cooking classes, and we do this meatloaf, or we cook with me. The kids are like, "What?" I'm like, "Get in there, guys. This is how you do it." So, anyways, we're mixing this up. And here's a little tip: did you guys know if you don't have breadcrumbs on hand, you can, if you have oatmeal, put that in your food processor. Blend that up a little bit to, get it more like a breadcrumb consistency, and that can be used. Now, if that happens, because it's happened to me before, because obviously that oatmeal is not seasoned, you'll need to add some seasoning to it. But it's a good alternative or substitution when you're in a pinch and you're like, oh my gosh, I have everything for meatloaf, but I forgot the breadcrumbs. So, okay, so that is mixed up. Okay, so I did a quick wash of my hands because they were super meaty. Okay, so now we're going to add 4 tablespoons of ketchup. So that's going to go in there. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of your balsamic. And you're going to want to have some more later on for your balsamic glaze. So again, the full recipe is in the comments and everything, because it's, it's a bit divided. So we added our ketchup and our balsamic. Now we're going to add our spices. So I have my salt in here, and I have my fresh cracked pepper. And I have my onion powder. And then what I'm going to do is kind of mix this up all together again. Now, I'm not mixing it up too much because you don't want to overmix this meat, or it turns in kind of like chewy, and it just gets really tough. So I'm just going to kind of folding it more in itself than I am, like really, really mixing, just folding. And then we're going to add our egg. I'm going to leave my hands a little meaty because I'm towards the end of this recipe. All right, now I have my 2 eggs in here. I'm just going to whisk them up just a little bit, not too much, and then we'll pour it in here, and then we'll kind of be just about done mixing. This actually recipe is fun if you do want to bring in the kids and have them help. Now I usually double it because my family loves this so much. My kids typically have a lot of it, and they always like to have a lot for leftover. So this is a great one. Try it once, you'll see what I mean. And they'll be like, thank you, Nikki. I'm like, you're welcome. I wish this was my recipe, but I actually got it from a friend, and I'm not sure where she got it, but I always thank her. Whenever I see her, I'm like, thank you for this recipe. I love it. Okay, so I'm just kind of folding it in. And now we are actually going to get it ready to put into our muffin tray, because today we're going to be using muffin trays instead of like a regular meatloaf mold, which you can use if you prefer. Okay, so now we're ready, like I said, to put it into our muffin tray. And you'll want to get your Bon Cook Straight Muffin Tray. This is, I'm probably going to say it a lot, my favorite, but this one is used a lot in my household. So it's that flexible non-stick bakeware, so it's really easy to cook with, completely non-stick, you guys. These meatloaves are just going to pop right out of this mold. It's incredible. We're not going to add any sprays or greasing or anything to it. So you can see why it's really easy to cook with, and it's really, really easy to wash. There's not a whole lot of stuff left on here. So I'm going to get that out, and each well is about 4 ounces, so that's kind of nice too, knowing, you know, portion control and everything. And I'm just going to scoop in here. Now, it kind of, this part, it's not a perfect science. It's kind of however full you want to fill these. Just keep in mind, there will be a little bit of that shrinkage once the meat starts to cook. So you fill it to the top, and as it cooks, you'll probably end up with, it'll be about 1/4 inch from the top. The thing I like about this straight muffin tray, I will say, is nice. It comes in handy when you're making things for potlucks, because typically maybe you wouldn't necessarily bring a meatloaf to a potluck, but when you have them in these individual portions like this, they're just really easy on the go. People can, you know, easily cut into them. You don't have to, you know, have an extra, you know, serving utensil out, because they're just going to pop right out of the mold. That's why I use the straight muffin tray a lot. I use it for quiches, egg cups. I use it for brownies. Of course, this meatloaves. I use it in the freezer for any of my leftover soups. I freeze my leftover soups, and I can just have it throughout the week. So if you guys want to know more about this muffin tray, let me know, because it is one of my faves. All right. So they're all in there now. And they're not quite ready to go in the oven. Okay, what you're gonna do, we're gonna make a glaze, and we'll just spoon a little bit over the top of each one. Okay, so we'll set that aside. We're gonna do some brown sugar, and you are gonna use some ketchup. So I think it's about 4 tablespoons of ketchup, which I learned is just like a squeeze. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 tablespoon of balsamic. And mix that together. Also, with this glaze, I usually double it, because this glaze is really good. It's delicious. Okay, so it is ready to go over the meat. So now this is going to go in the oven for about 30 minutes. And while it's cooking, I'm going to make more of this balsamic glaze, because it's so good. And we always like to have a little bit on the side so we can kind of dip our meat into it while we're eating it. Okay, so our balsamic glazed meatloaf is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the oven. Amazing. All right. And like I mentioned, I went ahead and made some extra glaze with brown sugar, ketchup, and balsamic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these to cool just a few minutes, and because they're still really hot, they'll settle into themselves, and they'll be easy. It'll be cool enough for me to kind of just pop them out of this mold, and then we'll plate them and serve them, and then dinner is ready. Okay, so it's been just a few minutes, and these have had time to cool a little bit so I can handle them. And now I'm just gonna unmold them out of here, so I can easily just handle it and put it on a plate. Really, really simple. There we go. And then we will add a little bit of extra glaze on the top or to the side. And like I said, dinner is served. So there's a couple different ways that you can serve these up too. Of course, throw some fresh veggies, roasted veggies, or steamed broccoli on the side. You can even do mashed potatoes and do a fun little, piping on top so it looks like a little cupcake. It's really, really cute. If you want to even go a step further, be a little bit healthier, you can make like a sweet potato mash and put that on top. And it's just a really fun thing for the family to eat and really, really tasty. So I hope you guys try this. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you try it, don't forget to reach out to me, post pictures, tag me. I am on Instagram as The Kitchen Legacy. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to have you follow me, and I would love to just be on this journey with you as you continue to create a legacy in your kitchen. Thanks so much for cooking with me. Happy cooking. Bye, guys.
It is so good. You should try it. It's so good. Good.